Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, Terry here, 2-6 player. Guys, here is Tiger Woods' sort of front view golf swing yesterday at his clinic for his foundation. Now, I'm going to let this swing through a couple of times full speed, okay? So let me take this through full speed a few times for you. There's one. Let's do it 3 times. 2. You can see how Tiger, nice tempo, okay? Follow throughs a little bit. Not like we used to see in Tiger, but hey, we're getting older, right? So here we go. So let's take a closer look now. Notice how Tiger, obviously, when Tiger sets up, he really has a really methodical setup. He's got the slight knee bend here, looks good. Arms are hanging straight down, okay. Shoulders, the rear shoulders underneath the lead shoulder here. He's got that nice little shoulder tilt there, so he's got the triangle going. Head's back just a little bit. Can't see it from this angle. But that's fine. Everything looks good. Now let's take Tiger to his takeaway. Now you see how Tiger comes off the ball nice and solid. His wrist, Tiger does not have an early wrist hinge, so his wrists come off nice and level. Let me just mark that here. So his wrist here. Let me do this. Let me erase that here. His wrists come through nice and level. Okay, in this box here, you see how the wrists come off nice and level. He doesn't have any wrist hinge, or he's not lifting the club. He's taking the club straight back on the plane. So when he does that, you see where, and again, this is a sort of front view, but it's sort of side view too. You see where he gets back. He's got the nice straight situation there, straight arm, straight with the club shaft. His forearm is nice and straight with the club shaft there. So when he gets back to the takeaway on the parallel position, okay, his club shaft is right about here, okay. But notice his body stayed centered. His body doesn't move off the ball, okay. So what's going to happen here? Tiger's now building energy in his core, okay. The energy is not being dispersed out to his arms. His arms aren't collapsing. He's going to keep his width in his backswing, so the energy can build in his core. So from here, he just takes the club straight up. You see this position right here? It's just straight up. See, his body's not moving. He's rotating. The arms have extended as far out as they could, and now his arms just move straight up around his body. So when he gets top of his backswing, okay, which is about here, you see he's not hitting full parallel shots. Now this is probably a wedge. I'm not sure, but now there's his shaft right there on his backswing. So he's got maybe a 3/4 swing going here. But notice he hasn't come off the center though. You see, notice how his front knee is pinched in just a little bit. See, front knee's pinched in just a little bit there, so he can get more of a turn around his shoulders and his rear hip. Okay, now one thing we want to notice is, again, Tiger stayed centered. Now what does that mean really? Okay, what that means really is, you see, look how he's right here. He's kind of loaded on his. We're going to look at his lead leg. He's kind of loaded on his lead leg there, but notice as he goes up and around his body. Notice how he loads more weight on that lead leg. Guys, this is just a product of staying centered. Okay, this is just a product of staying centered here. It's not a product of being stack and tilt or whatever you all want to call it. It's just a byproduct of staying centered, because he has to stay centered so his arms can drop straight down. And the only way you can stay centered is you've got to put more weight on that lead leg as more pressure gets to the rear side. So the pressure on the trail side has to equal the weight on the lead side, okay, to keep you centered. So weight and pressure are two different things. Don't want to get too deep into that right now, because this is just a basic analysis. But you have to understand how the center works, how the core works with the entire golf swing. Okay, so now, as Tiger begins to drop the club, notice there's a little squat here, but it's a settling, because, again, the weight still has to transfer from the center to the lead side. So now, as there's a little squat there, here, even though he's squatting, his hip still hasn't moved yet. Okay, so let's take a look. So let me mark Tiger's shaft right here, okay, and let's mark his hips right here. Okay, so now as he settles, notice he settles here, okay. So he settles. So now there's the settle. The hips hadn't started moving yet. But after the settle, notice the hips now start to move right there. You see how the hips start to move, but look at his shaft. His shaft has now started to drop. You see, there's the settle. Here's the settle. Now watch the hips move, but watch the shaft drop. You see how the shaft is dropped under the green line at the top of his backswing. See how now his shaft is dropped as finally the hips are starting to move right there. See, they're starting to move right there. And then now he comes down through the ball. Now everything is synchronized on the way down. There's no disassociation from his hips to his arms. Everything is dropping now in sync. So now, as long as his head stays back, his head will control all the body parts underneath. Hips moving, knees moving, feet moving. Okay, now his arms begin to drop into the slot, and now the head position is now controlling all the movement of his body parts down and through the ball. Okay, so that's how it works. So these guys aren't trying to disassociate hips from arms and all that kind of stuff, guys. They're dropping as what we call a one-piece downswing. And the one-piece downswing is controlled by the head staying back, so it could cause a domino effect for all the body parts and all the club positions to move automatically through the golf swing. Okay, very, very, very efficient golf swing when you talk about how the 2-6 process works, okay, as Tiger gets the top of his backswing. Now, between Tiger and Rory, you know, they squat a little bit. They have a squat, but the squat is on the center. The squat isn't moving the hips toward the target. They get the top of the backswing here, and then they squat. See, there's the squat, but the squat is not a movement to the target. See, that's a squat. He's just settling. And then when he gets here, now as the hips start to move, now the arms drop together as he comes into impact, okay, and follow through. Okay, hope this helps. Hope this helps. Again, guys, click the link below. Click the link below. There's a link down there called This Works. Shows you my golf swing, shows other 2-6s around the world who are swinging the golf club great, their testimonials after my clinics. Okay, this works. Okay, click that link. Now, there's another link down there called the club webinar video. Guys, the best 35 minutes you will spend in your golf life. Click that link. No email to submit. Just watch the club webinar video. Okay, enjoy, and you'll get more videos from me on my channel. Please subscribe to the channel if you would like. I think this is the first time I've ever asked people to subscribe to my channel, and I've literally got 6,500 subscribers. Okay, see you soon. Talk to you in the next video.